Thank you. Answer the phone.
Answer the phone yourself. I'm a girl. I don't answer the phone.
Hello. No, this is Dr. Warren. I see. All right. I'll leave for the hospital right now. Emergency list.
I'm sorry, and you're so tired.
Oh, I'm fine. Monica?
Yes, Rick? What is it?
Our patient, Mr. Bradley, he's had another heart attack.
Oh, no.
Looks like we'll have to do an emergency bypass.
Oh, well, I'll be right there.
Thank you, Monica.
Bye. I've got to get to the hospital.
Why doesn't he get somebody else to assist him?
Well, I can't turn right down.
No, you never can.
Alan, don't do that.
Monica, you haven't had any rest at all. You've got to think of the baby.
I feel fine. I feel excellent. I've been on this case from 1 year when he had the first heart attack.
All right, I'll drive you to the hospital.
Well, that's ridiculous. You don't have to go.
I've got some work to do there, and then I'll be there if you're tired to drive you home.
I am perfectly capable of driving myself.
I'm going to do this, and that's the end of it.
All right. Have it your way. Hi, Rick.
I've been uptight a little since your phone call.
Oh, it's all right. Lee called, and he said the restraining order went through at 11:50 this morning.
But Tracy didn't have time to get down here.
She left me at 11:45, and I doubted she could make it to the courthouse in 5 minutes.
Well, I was really sweating it out there for a while.
I'm sorry. I couldn't get back to you, but I thought Lee might call you.
Well, you may have tried after I came to the hospital.
You feel like I do?
Yes, a very grateful that...
I feel just like the weight of the world has been lifted off my shoulders.
Well, this has been very rough on you.
On you. But maybe now the whole Krikorian nightmare is over.
I shouldn't have asked you to come down and assist me tonight.
Oh, are you kidding? I would have been furious if you hadn't called. I've been in on this case with you since the beginning.
Well, that's one reason why I wanted you, because you know the patient as well as I do, probably better than I do.
What do you think the chances are?
I think they're good, don't you?
Yep, I think definite 2 bypasses and possibly a third if, well, depends on what we find when we go in.
It'd be nice having you at my side again.
You don't know how nice it is for me to be here.
Dr. Redwood?
Yes?
Before you finish scrubbing, do you have a moment to see someone who says it's very important?
Who is?
It's Lee Baldwin.
Did he say what he wanted?
Just said it was personal. And he also asked if Dr. Quartermain was assisting. When I told him that you were, he said he'd like to see you also.
Well, yes, we'll be right out. Thank you.
Listen, I know I shouldn't be here at a time like this.
No, we haven't finished scrubbing. What is it?
I just felt it should be alerted. I don't know how this happened, but Monica, your deposition is missing from our files.
A complete recovery. But why don't you take off?
I'm surprised to see you here.
Well, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
What's happened now?
I've just come from my office and a meeting with your husband, Dr. Quartermain.
What did he want?
Well, what he wanted was to know the contents of the depositions that were taken during his absence.
What did you tell him?
I told him that my questions were concerned with the severe emotional stress that the two of you had been under when Mrs. Krikorian was operated on.
Well, how did he react to that?
There's no way of knowing unless we could read the man's mind. But I thought you should also know that he's aware of the missing deposition, and he's also aware of Lee's request that I shred my copy. Now, I don't want you to worry about it too much. I think we've got all the points covered. I think you should have your story straight in case he starts asking questions.
Thank you, Miss Percy.
You're welcome. I'm sorry that I have to just sort of drop this in your laps like this.
We appreciate that you came to us.
I knew that you'd want to know. Well, take care of yourselves now.
Goodbye. Thank you. Rick, what are we going to do?
Just play it cool. I think that's all we can do. Just play it cool.
Yes, probably some loose ends to tie up.
Yeah.
Ah, here you are.
Well, what's left of me anyway. It's been a long night in surgery.
Dr. Weber, would you by any chance have time for a cup of coffee in the cafeteria?
I think that'd be a great idea. Monica, thank you for everything. Alan, take care of her.
I intend to do just that.
See you later.
And will you please check us out? We won't be in for the rest of the day.
Absolutely, Dr. Quartermain.
We're going home, ma'am, where we can be alone and you can get some rest.
Sounds wonderful. Just wonderful.
Down, Tracy makes me absolutely furious. I mean, she's never been trustworthy, but this time she's gone absolutely too far in attacking Monica.
Alan, dear, are you sure that this anger isn't directed against yourself? Do you think that possibly your old suspicions have been revived and that somewhere, deep down within your innermost soul, you somehow, even though you try to deny it, you still believe that Monica was unfaithful to you? Is that where your anger is directed?
No, Mother, you're wrong. I have no more fears of that kind at all. I know that Monica is exactly what she seems to be. I know that that boy that she's carrying is mine no matter what my sister tries to pull. And if she thinks for 1 second that I would allow my wife to submit to a paternity test to prove that I'm the father of that child, well, I'll tell you something. My sister doesn't know her big brother.
Seem to have walked in on a rather important discussion.
How much of it have you heard?
Everything.
The most important thing is for you not to worry. I've got a few cards to play myself. So if Tracy tries to hurt you or our son, I'll show Mitch Williams to the world for exactly what he is. A crook at best, and someone very closely connected to organized crime at worst. And the worst, Monica, is what they both deserve.
I knew about the restraining order that would keep anybody from reading a deposition. Lee took care of that with Zelda Bernstein's help after she'd been bribed by Tracy.
Why didn't you tell any of us?
Because, Alan, there's going to be a wedding in this family. Tracy and Mitch are going to be married next Wednesday. You've accepted as best man. I have accepted as matron of honor. And I didn't want to cause any more unnecessary trouble in this family.
That was very thoughtful of you, darling.
Well, Lila, I'm not blind. I know how Tracy feels about me. And in trying to preserve peace in this family, I've even hoped the baby would be a girl.
You what?
Alan, I'm sorry, but I did. Just to avoid this ugly kind of trouble.
Well, Tracy and Dad will be here soon. Mother's going to try and talk some sense into her.
I think I know a way that would keep Tracy quiet.
How?
Well, tell us.
We give her what she wants, and everybody could be happy.
I beg your pardon.
Well, this is not a sudden idea. I've thought about it.
Monica, what exactly are you saying?
Alan, there's enough money for everyone. I don't care who gets what when. What I do care about very strongly is this constant bickering with you and Tracy. I mean, that kind of hatred can destroy much more than what we'd be giving away.
And what exactly would we be giving away?
The Quartermain Trust Fund.
Oh, Monica.
Well, really, until my son is born, the money is Tracy's and her son's. Why don't we give it to her, Alan? You and I could sign it over to her.
Absolutely not. I can't believe that you've made such a suggestion. I will not submit to Tracy's blackmail, never. And you've got nothing to hide, so there's no way she can win. So there will be no discussion about handing anything over to Dad. Not one word ever again to anybody. Is that understood?
Yes.
Of course, dear.
Good. You and I are going to have the legitimate Quartermain heir. What's his is not ours to give away. Neither my father nor myself could ever commit such an act. Is that clear?
Very clear.
Good. You have given me an idea, though. If you'll excuse me.
I think, my dear, that you have now know what it's like to be married into the Quartermain clan.
Lila, I've known for a long time. what I overheard you say to Lila earlier. Did you trust me now? Do you know how much that meant to me?
I meant every word of it.
Well, now I'm not going to worry about Tracy and her machinations. Or anyone else.
You sleep well.
I will.
Yes, what's that?
I think my pregnancy is catching up with me. I'm getting tired a lot sooner than I used to.
Are you?
Oh, don't look so alarmed. It's a perfectly normal reaction.
Well, I'm not alarmed, but I do think that we should discuss you cutting back on your work schedule. When do you plan to do that?
How about another month? Is that okay?
Yes, I'll settle for that. You've got to take very, very good care of yourself. You see, Tracy's making such a big fuss over this. We've got to make sure that the baby is a very healthy quarter-main heir.
Does the trust fund matter that much to you?
Yes. And beating Tracy matters, too.
It's times like this that I'm glad I don't have brothers and sisters.
Well, don't go by us. We're not exactly typical.
I don't.
Anyway, this time out, you and I are going to beat Tracy together. She doesn't stand a chance against the two of us.
No. She doesn't stand a chance. Stella, it was delicious. Thank you.
May I get you something else?
No, I think we're fine now.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to have a very serious talk with you.
About what?
Picking a name for our baby.
Well, I did want to name him after your father, but since Tracy beat us to it with Ned being named Edward.
Yes, that's true.
Hey, he's arriving tomorrow, isn't he?
Yes, tomorrow morning.
You know, despite all the problems we have with Tracy, I think maybe we should close ranks for her son's sake.
Oh, you do, huh?
Well, it isn't his fault that Tracy's his mother, and he's a quartermain.
You're starting to sound more like my mother all the time.
Good or bad?
Oh, that's very good. It shows that you're really becoming a member of the family.
Well, I thought I did that a long time ago.
Well, yes, you did in name. Now you're doing it in spirit.
Well, I'm learning.
Yes, I'm sure it can't be easy to live with such a volatile group of people. Loving each other one minute and at each other's throats the next.
Yeah, it can be difficult. But it's a challenge. And I like challenges.
Tracy's enough of a challenge for anybody.
You know, sometimes I almost feel sorry for her. 4 marriages, and she's never found someone who really loved her.
I'm about to embark on the 5th with a man who feels exactly the same way.
Is Mitch anything like any of the others?
No. All of the others used to fawn over her, and she didn't like that at all. I think that Ned's father was probably the best of the lot. But I also think that Tracy married him for his title, not for his character.
Yeah, he was a duke, wasn't he?
Yes, the Duke of Colfax still is. Hey, why don't we call our son Duke?
No. Oh, for heaven's sakes, it sounds like a prize fighter.
How about Alan Quartermain II?
Alan Quartermain II. I like that.